Okay, everybody. So this week's module is on the art of listening, on various things we can listen for in pieces of music. So in a nutshell, these are some of the things you'll be reading about and doing the review activities and listening for your musical examples. We need to start with the three main elements of music. Now we begin by talking about rhythm. And rhythm is basically a pattern of movement through time. So this is different than a beat. A beat would be something just like a, but yet a rhythm might be. So we got a little different pattern there. So when we hear about musical pieces talked about the rhythm of the pieces, that is what we're specifically referring to, how this feeling of movement occurs. And we aren't going to get into the major aspect of it on all the whole note, quarter note, all the mathematics of music. That's for another time. But in the musical example on your right, that is some piano music, and that indicates there's a lot of rhythmic activity going on. An aspect of rhythm you're going to read about is something called meter. That's the way we organize meter. So you will hear about pieces of music being basically in duple or triple or quadruple. Do we feel the music moving 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2? Do we feel it moving like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3? So as an example, Jingle Bells would be in a duple meter. One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Something in a triple meter might sound like this. A little 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Another main element of music is melody. The idea that we can take these tones and move them along in a succession. So you are looking at the melody for this piece. So you heard a little melody. Now, with melody, you'll hear talk about pieces of music being in keys. Keys is what I call the color of a melody. And all I could say is something like you can hear keys. So we can say, here's Happy Birthday in this key. Here's Happy Birthday in a different key. Another key. So those are all what we call the melody being in different keys, and you'll see references of it into things like this piece of music is in the key of C. This piece of music is in the key of F. That's what it's referring to. Then we get to the third element of music, harmony. And harmony is the simultaneous sounding of two or more notes. So we can have actual chords. Sometimes we can have very obvious harmonies like that. Maybe some jazzy harmonies. Things like that. You can have bizarre harmonies. Those are all harmonies. It's as long as we get two or more notes. At our discussion of harmony, you will talk about the idea that we can hear pieces of music as being in a major or minor tonality, and when something is in a major key, we feel that music is being brighter and happier, and minor is something dark and sad. So really quickly, Jingle Bells is in a major key. And if I were to change that to Jingle Bells in minor, definitely a different character. So as you go through your readings and various assignments, you will hear things like the concerto in D minor or the symphony in C major. So those are all telling us different things about those particular aspects of music. So those are the sections on the 3 basic elements of music. Now, texture is how sounds are layered. We can have a piece of music that is monophonic, where it's one musical line with no accompaniment. The only thing you hear is the tune. That is it. Only the tune. Here's this little tune. That's all you get with the tune. Something like Happy Birthday, as I've demonstrated on the video, you could have monophonic if all you heard was, all you're hearing is that one tune. Then we can have a homophonic texture, one musical line with accompaniment, we hear the tune, and then there's some other stuff going on with it. So that's a little homophonic texture. We also have the choral homophony, which is you'll hear one tune, but it will fill it out with parts. And you might hear that in a choir with soprano, alto, tenor, and bass, with sopranos singing the melody and all the other people singing out parts. So this is what you're looking at with this little song here. And then finally we get to polyphony. That's 2 or more musical lines at the same time, with or without an accompaniment. So you'll hear on the video that I gave you definite examples of that. So that should get you started. I will next have a PowerPoint up, separate PowerPoint with the musical instruments.